Appreciate everybody being here today. It's obviously always good to stand in front of the microphone after a win and kind of brag on your team. I thought our team was extremely determined. I thought our team was extremely focused. I liked the energy that our football team had going into game one. Hats off to Midwestern State on traveling and bringing a squad in here that was well coached and played hard. I thought they were ready. I thought they did some really good things offensively. But I thought our guys handled their punch and delivered our own and came back and played well.
I'm sure that very first play by Midwestern was tough to swallow.
Sure.
But how did you make sure that your guys were ready on that very first drive to respond and prove that you guys were ready for that game?
Yeah, I think in years past it might have been different. I think in maybe years past that play would have had more of an impact other than 7 points. But I think the amount of work that this defense has put in to get better, the amount of dedication that these guys have to their craft, that it's going to take more than one play or one score or one drive to deter us. And quite frankly, more than one game to deter us. These guys have worked extremely hard. They're extremely confident. And the thing that we always talk about is Midwestern State is not a non-scholarship. They have players. They pay a coaching staff. And so hats off to them. They schemed us up. They got us. It's something that we'll learn from and we'll move forward. But our guys never batted an eye. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that it happened, but our guys rebounded and were ready to come right back at it.
Looking forward to next week, you had some experience with Midwestern, but this new school, you've never played, the team hasn't played since 2013, so how do you go about it differently from an aspect of a team that you're not super familiar with?
Yeah, it's tough. It's a similar message as it was last week. This is more about us. This is more about Missouri Southern defense being on top of our fundamentals, being on top of our X's and O's, relying in what we've been taught because we don't have a lot of film. We don't know a lot of their roster. It's a new staff. There's a lot of new players on the roster. And so it's not your typical game plan where, okay, hey, we got 4 games and this is what they do versus teams like ours. Quite honestly, we don't know. And so when you get in those situations, you really just have to rely on your ABCs, your fundamentals. And if you can do that, you'll be just fine.
Coach, you've had some time to evaluate the team on Saturday against Midwestern. What are some key takeaways that you hope to bring into SBU, like you said, an unfamiliar opponent?
Yeah, defensively, we'll start there. I think we need to tackle better. I thought our guys were in great spots the majority of the game. Our finish was lackluster, you know what I mean? And so we got to do a better job tackling. We got to do a better job on third down, getting teams off the field. I think we gave up 2 third longs. That we just got to get them off the field. Offensively, I thought we did a lot of really good things. The one thing I would say is just keeping up our tempo, just in terms of keeping our foot on the pedal and making sure that we're able to finish drives and just keep our foot on people's throats, if you will.
Going to SBU Southern as their game opener, and then also having that win under your belt, do you think there's some advantages going into the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I think probably the advantages for them. They're sitting around preparing for the same coordinator, preparing for similar schemes. We've made some changes, we've added some wrinkles, but they're good coaches over there. And so those guys have been preparing for Missouri Southern probably since the 3rd week of their fall camp. And so probably advantage a little bit them. The advantage for us is we've played a live game. We've gotten the jitters out. We've made those first game mistakes, if you will, whereas they haven't had that first game to get those mistakes out. And so, hopefully we're a little bit sharper because we do have a game under our belt. But yeah, the advantages we have are some of the disadvantages we have. You know what I mean? So it balances out, and ultimately we got to come out and execute.
And 5 days away until we head over to Bolivar, what are we doing in practice? Make sure that we're focused and ready for the game.
Yeah, this is a really mature group. You're going to speak with one of our seniors here shortly. You know, I don't have to hit that, hey guys, focus button. They do a really good job of reminding each other to focus. You know, this team is locked in on a mission, and so we understand that SBU is another opportunity to get a step closer to that mission, completing that mission, and another opportunity for us to get better.
So Tillman, as a freshman, won starting quarterback job. What did he show you in camp that gave you the confidence to name him QB1, and what did you think of his performance on Saturday?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. He is a freshman, but he's an early enrollee. He was here last spring, so this battle is not just 3 weeks in fall camp. This battle actually started back in March during spring ball. Him, Chris Donahue, Isaac Cottrell, Taysom Pringer. I mean, those four were neck and neck battling all spring. We came out of the spring not ready to name one. And so it carried over in the summer, and they're player-led when they were doing their own practices. Those guys were all rotating with the one, some. And then we rolled into fall camp. And so he won the battle. Again, I think he gives us the best opportunity to win. I think they're all very calm and composed in the pocket, but I think he's got some movement ability that maybe edges some of the other guys out. And so we're excited to have him under center for us, per se.
Cool. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
And next we'll have senior Nyjahl Vaughn.
I'm Nyjahl Vaughn, defensive back, East St. Louis, Illinois. I'm here majoring in education.
So, how, from your perspective, you were on the defense. How did you guys bounce back from that first play?
With it being the first game, we knew it would be some adversity at some point in the game. Adversity just hit us early. It hit us in the first quarter, first play of the game. And with me being on the field, I was happy to see our guys, how we stuck together. Nobody really held their head down. We were ready to go out for the next possession. We cheered offense on. Offense had our back. We knew we was going to come out and have that back the next possession.
This next game, how are you kind of approaching it? Like I said, you guys have never faced off against them before. What are some things that you want to put in on, make sure you have ready for the Saturday?
It's like Coach Bradley said, it's similar to week one. We probably going to fight some adversity this game too, given they got film on us, they seen us play. But like Coach said, we played a game, we got physical against another team, so that they haven't did, and we're prepared to go against some other guys. And I think this game we're going to do like the first game and stick together, and we're going to come out with the victory.
Biggest takeaways from the Midwestern game on the defensive side of the ball that you hope to use to your advantage in the SBU game?
Our discipline. I feel like as a whole group, we could, as long as we're our discipline, we'll handle the game very well. And like Coach said, tackling. When we missed some tackles, we made a lot of tackles, but if we make those tackles earlier, we'll get off the field quicker, get the offense more opportunities.
And, you know, kind of as an upperclassman and getting that big win against Midwestern, what's kind of the feelings going into SBU? Like you said, unfamiliar opponent, haven't played them in 13 years, you know. How are you going to try to keep the team's positivity up going into the game?
Well, positivity is going to be high, of course, because we won. But after that win, we put that week behind us. We on to the next one. It's simply focused, just like the first week. We just going to stick to our principles, do everything we've been taught by coaches. We're going to practice how we practiced last week, hard and better. We're going to stack days.
Cool. Thank you, Nyjahl.